Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Hey, what's cooking, good looking? Welcome back to the channel. And Happy New Year. That's right, we're officially in 2025. Last year just flew by in a blink of an eye. So I spent the last couple days of December, just spending time with friends and family, with my loved ones, just making sure that I don't burn myself out. Because contrary to popular belief, even I can burn out sometimes, But, start of the new year, we're getting right back to it. And it's really funny because, when I decided to take my break at the end of December, something really interesting happened, right? A topic that I really wanted to talk about cropped up, and everyone in the FGC is talking about this right now. Really quick, before we get into it, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe, I would appreciate that, help your boy out. And, what am I talking about? You're probably asking. What, pray tell, is everyone talking about? So basically, Street Fighter V has re-entered the zeitgeist. It's re-entered the discussion. Everyone's talking about Street Fighter V right now. Was Street Fighter V really that bad? Yes. Yes, it was. I'll just get that out of the way right now. Yes, it was. I like Street Fighter V. Don't get me wrong, okay? Because people hate Street Fighter V for years. People have talked down about this game. And then now all of a sudden, people are like, dude, maybe Street Fighter V wasn't so bad, right? Maybe Street Fighter VI is the game that sucks, and Street Fighter V is actually good. No, that is completely wrong. Street Fighter VI is superior to SF5 in almost every single way. There are a couple things that Street Fighter V does that I do enjoy. I'll get to that in a second. But listen, I'm kind of happy that people are giving Street Fighter V its flowers, because Street Fighter V is a really interesting game. It's a game that's really personable to me too, because I was there. I was there at ground zero. They announced the first Street Fighter V trailer, right? And before the first beta even went live, there were a few location tests at cons, or they had some tests where you had to actually travel to places to play the game. And I went to a few of these, right? During the first location test for SF5, it only had 4 characters, right? It had Ryu, Chun, Bison, and Nash. Those were the 4 characters that were in the first location test. And then shortly after that, they started to announce the betas, right? And the Street Fighter V betas, and I do say betas because there was a lot of them, that's kind of where the game started to go downhill, right? Because at first glance, SF5 was pretty cool. We were all getting tired of SF4. Elena joined the game, and that last update people were starting to get pissed, right? Around when DeCapre got added, and then we got Elena, and dude, people were not happy, right? So SF5, we started getting betas for it, and people were like, oh, dude, this is cool. The last game sucked. The new game is the good game. Keep that in mind. We're going to circle back to that. That is a key part of this discussion. So everyone was super on board with SF5 at the time, right? But then we started getting beta after closed beta, after open beta, pre-order beta, and they would add new characters in with every new beta, right? And at a certain point, we just got to this this plateau around the the 50th or 60th beta, around the time they added Rashid, right? They added Rashid into one of the last ones, right? A lot of people don't know that, but they did. It felt like we'd seen everything the game had to offer at that point, and it was, it was still kind of cool. It was still, new and fresh, but then the game came out, right? And that's what I said. That's what I mean by when I said I was at ground zero, because when the game came out, I got it day one, and dude, you had to be there, because a lot of people in the present day, they're trying to romanticize, Street Fighter V, and there's a lot of revisionist history coming on. Dude, when Street Fighter V launched, there was no story mode, right? We had these little mini story modes with, every character had 2 fights a piece. There was no arcade mode. There was no versus CPU mode, right? We had survival mode. There was no in-game shop. We didn't know when the DLC characters were dropping. Dude, there was only 16 characters on the roster. It was a mess, dude. It was one of the most bare bones launches of any fighting game that I've ever seen. Mortal Kombat 1 is kind of close, but at least that had a story mode. Dude, Street Fighter V was rough, dude. It was rough. One positive thing about Street Fighter V, though, is that immediately after launch, Capcom, they were on their socials, they were talking about the Capcom Pro Tour, right? So, tournaments were happening, and they were hyping up these tournaments. You wanted to watch these tournaments because of how much work Capcom was putting into promoting these things, right? Street Fighter 6, dude, there's tournaments all the time. Dude, I miss them all the time, dude. Dude, you can walk into a McDonald's right now, and then you can run into the champion of the most recent tournament, and you would have no idea. Oh, dude, I didn't even know that happened. Street Fighter V, you knew the tournaments were happening, right? And then we had to wait just forever, and Capcom didn't tell us anything. We didn't know when the in-game shop was going live. We didn't know when the DLC characters were coming. We knew that Alex was going to be the first DLC character, but Capcom, for like a month and a half, they didn't say anything. We had no idea what was happening until they dropped that Alex trailer, right? A couple tournaments in, they dropped the Alex trailer, and that was cool, right? That was hype. You know, it was exciting. People had been asking for this character. And then from there, Street Fighter V gets another point here. Every month, we got content, right? Was it good content? Who's to say? I'm not one to judge, you know? But we did get content. We would get like a costume or two, right? We would get a costume every month, and we get a character every other month, right? So there was always this stream of content coming to Street Fighter V, right? Towards the end of the first year, we got Akuma, right? And Akuma was the first big, like, oh, damn, this is pretty cool, right? Because people had just been shitting on Street Fighter V for months until that happened, right? Season 2 came after Akuma, and that was kind of whatever. Ed was neat. Abigail was a mistake. But by the end of Season 2 and the beginning of Season 3, there was a change, right? You could kind of feel it. You could hear it in the air, you know? At the beginning of Season 3, they announced Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, right? We were getting into arcade mode finally, which isn't really a selling point, you know? That's just a show of goodwill that Street Fighter V was becoming an actual video game again, you know? And then they showed us all the characters we were getting that season. And it was quite possibly the best season the game ever had, right? We had Cody, Sakura, Blanca, G, Sagat, and I'm missing someone. I can't remember who the last one is. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude. Those characters, bangers, right? All around, right? We got the best version of... was he the best version? I don't know. But he was cool. Cody was cool, right? Sagat was fine. I like the way he looked. G, quite possibly the best newcomer aside from Minot added to a Street Fighter game, you know? And then from there, we kept getting, aside from Kage kind of sucked as well. But it was an upward climb to making Street Fighter V a pretty good game, right? So Maximilian said this on his stream the other day, that Street Fighter V, the devs were handed a bad apple, and over years they were able to make a decent apple pie with it, right? I don't know if I would go that far. I would say they were given a slab of old meat, right? Like an old steak that was in the back of the freezer, right? Then they threw it on the grill, they spruced it up a little bit, and they made it palatable, right? It was pretty good by the end, right? Was it amazing? No, I don't think it was amazing by the end, but it was pretty good, right? I think Street Fighter V, by the end of all things, was a pretty good fighting game, right? Does it hold a candle to Street Fighter VI at all? No, I think Street Fighter VI is a way better game, right? The characters in Street Fighter VI, I've said this in multiple videos, it feels like the characters in Street Fighter VI are the best, most fleshed out versions that they've ever been, you know? Characters that people don't even, usually care about. Characters like Ed are, the sickest characters in the game now. I hate Blanca and Honda. Dude, they're sick as hell in Street Fighter VI, you know? So Street Fighter 6, well, the one thing I will give it, the first issue, because it does have issues, Drive Rush, right? A lot of Street Fighter 6 devolves into just, spamming Drive Rush and then using those plus frames, right? But you know what? That's something that Capcom could fix eventually, right? I feel like they are, considering these things. But that brings me to my second point. The content rollout for Street Fighter 6, oh my god, Jesus Christ. It is abysmal. It is so slow, dude. And, I'm sure Capcom is working on some fixes on things, but they're just taking a long time, right? We're taking a long time to get costumes, characters. It's just, man, dude. And that's why people are talking about Street Fighter V. I don't think people actually believe Street Fighter V is a better game than Street Fighter 6. Truthfully, I do not. I think the lack of content, coming to Street Fighter 6, it's giving people the opportunity to actually, look around and, appreciate some things that they liked about Street Fighter V. But also, there's a little bit of spite there, right? I like both of these games, right? I said this in the beginning of the video. Street Fighter V holds a special place in my heart. Is it better than Street Fighter 6? No. Is it better than Street Fighter 4? I would still say no. But I still like Street Fighter V for what it is, But yeah, Street Fighter 6 is the superior game. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think about this whole situation? I think it's hilarious. I'm just happy Street Fighter V is getting some kind of love, because for 8 years, people just hated it. And, I was the guy bringing Street Fighter V to the functions, to the parties. Hey, guys, you guys want to play Street Fighter V? Right? That was me. I was that dude, I was always pushing Street Fighter V. I got Street Fighter 6 now. I'm happy. But I wish Street Fighter 6 had the content rollout that Street Fighter V had, Anyway, guys, I've rambled enough about this. That's just my 2 cents. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.